Alright, so here we are with game 1 of our cube draft with our mono green deck, and we've opened up on quite a stinker here. No mana accelerators, not enough land, and basically everything that could be bad. So we're gonna mulligan. This is a deck that's gonna mulligan pretty well. So you have some pretty powerful cards. Alright, that's a hand. We can cast Genesis Wave for 1 on turn 2. There's always that. Alright, so our opponent's mana vaulting. Ooh, a Lotus Cobra. Alright, so we're going to open up on turn 2 Lotus Cobra here. Turn 1, I mean. Which is pretty sweet. I can do a lot of good work with that. Get this Garrick out there, hopefully on turn 3. Or we'll get Dazed. That's a blowout. Guess I should have played around Daze. Sorry, guys. That's an unfortunate one. Alright, so whatever. We still have our Pilgrim, basically where we were when we started. Yeah. So it sets him back too. So we're gonna stick with our now it's Hermit or Pilgrim. Here we're just going to cast the Hermit. I mean, we're not Pilgriming into anything good in the next turn or two, as our spells are very expensive, so might as well put a little pressure on the board, maybe draw a counter spell out. Who knows? That Lotus Cobra was a big one. Obviously Lotus Cobra is very good with Genesis Wave too, as you can really go off, but it is what it is. So get this Hermit in there. Pretty sneaky, playing Pilgrim, and we're looking to hopefully get a big turn going in the next turn or two. If we draw a land, we'll probably just flip our Hermit. Actually, I guess we can do it. Never mind. If we'll probably be flipping our Hermit regardless, and let him deal with that. If we draw a land, and if he taps out, I mean, we draw a land, we're probably better off to cast our Garrick. But he's done nothing, so he's missed his land drop. Right, it's turn 4, yes. He missed his land drop. So here, okay, or we can play Wicker Bell Elder and destroys Mana Vault, which seems even better. So let's just get him with this Hermit here, and see if we can pop off this Mana Vault and slow him down. He seems fairly mana screwed, so let's keep him on that. Hopefully, he doesn't have balance. I guess if he does, it isn't the worst thing in the world, because we only have 2 cards in our hand and he'll lose a lot of them. Alright, so let's see. Alright. It's cute. I definitely copied quite a few Birds of Paradise in my day with Phantasmal Image, playing the old Solar Flare deck. Alright, so now he's tapped out. We can resolve our Garrick and pretty much go to town on this guy. So let's crash first. And unless he has Force of Will, we are going to be drawing a lot of cards over the next few turns. So our deck's mostly creatures. And there we go. Alright, so now we got a guy to put in with the Garrick in Terastodon. So this game's looking pretty good for us. Our deck seems fun, too. I guess this would theoretically be a Time Twister, and maybe this would be a Trigon Predator. Or, I'm sorry, this would be Trigon Predator if we are playing the blue, but again, I don't know. If this is a forest, then all the blue cards are blank. So I don't know if the blue is worth it or not. So let's see what he's got in store for us. We've built quite a board here. As I was saying in the previous draft, where we were the junk Planeswalker deck. Planeswalkers are really, really good at creating a cascading advantage, where you're sort of just putting more and more stuff in play and creating this hill that's just way too difficult to climb. So when you're ahead, they're really, really good. Like in this situation, obviously we saw in our junk Planeswalker decks loss in round 2 that when you're behind, they're not nearly as good. But alright, so that was a pretty easy win. Even though he dazed our turn 1 Lotus Cobra. He is blue and white. It's possible he's playing a little more of a control deck. We might want to be bringing in our blue plan or cutting our Genesis Wave. As it's possible he'll be wrathing away our mana accelerators or countering the wave. Or we could just bring in like a plow under effect and kind of just go for his mana. I think we're going to do that. We're going to take the wave out. Yeah, it sucks, but he's playing Daze, guys. I mean, really. You want to wave for 9 and get it Dazed? There's no way we're waving for 8 and leaving it mana open. So, we're cool with this. Plow Under is also a pretty sweet card that we can cast on turn 2. So, speak of a devil. Alright, so, this is reminiscent of old standards long past. This was like hell back in the day. The old Tooth and Nail decks would plow under you, and then Eternal Witness to plow under, and then plow under you again, and it was just the worst. Alright, so here we're going to play around Daze. Which is fun. Play our Pilgrim. And next turn we can Geist him, and then we can plow under. Which are all pretty good things to do on turn 2 and 3. Oh boy. Alright. So that actually works out really well for us. Because he doesn't realize we have a haste creature in our green deck to kill his Jace. We're going to split this Wrath, non-Wrath. Might just take the mana. Gilded Lotus. Yes, he took the Gilded Lotus and the Plains. So that's fine. Because we're going to kill his Jace and then plow under him next turn. And this game is looking rather good. So let's get our Geist in there. Pop off this Jace. And this game is looking to be in pretty good shape. He's going to have Mana Vault, dinging him for 1 every turn. He's stuck on 3 lands. And if his Plow Under resolves, the game will most certainly end. Alright. Ooh. He has a Mox of his own. Alright, so that's interesting. Usually I feel like you shouldn't play your Mox until you need it. So it's possible he has a 4-mana spell like Fact or Fiction or Venser or something. So we're going to jam our Plow Under first. I guess we could do blue-blue. Because he's going to have a white no matter what. So we're going to attack this and see what happens. Clearly if this resolves, we're in pretty good shape. And if it doesn't resolve, we have Eternal Witness. We just try it again next turn. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Alright, so I get the impression he's not countering it. Yeah. And he can't untap his Mana Vault because it's not his upkeep. He's probably trying to do that right now, I would assume. Unless he's... Yeah, if he's tapping his mana but not doing anything, I assume he's trying to untap his Mana Vault. His Mana Vault. Oh no, he got into the Royal. Alright. So, whatever. So, cool. So, we're totally cool with that because our guy's haste anyway. So, let's see. Alright, so that's probably an Exalted Angel. Which is pretty good against us, to be fair. Ooh, that's a big dude. I was really happy with just casting Witness and Strangleroot Geist and Plow Undering him again next turn. Or we could just play the Wolfier Silverheart and bash for 5 and have 2 huge guys in play, but I think I'd rather keep it the Disruption plan. We have enough big threats that I don't think 4 life returns are really going to kill us. So we're just going to do that. There's also the off chance it's not an Exalted Angel, as there are Vesuvian Shapeshifter's a card. I think Willbender's in the cube. Whip Quarter. Card sucks. So, usually when I see a morph, I just assume it's Exalted Angel. I believe Exalted Angel is the only morph in my cube anymore, as the rest of them are just pretty overclassed at this point. Even Exalted Angel's overclassed at this point, to be honest, but it's still in there. So, it is possible it is not Exalted Angel. I assume we're going to find out on this turn. So he's drawing his island. We're looking forward to plow undering him again next turn. And then we can deploy our Wolfier as a pseudo haste threat and kill him in like 2 turns. Conveniently, with 2 turns, we'll be drawing those same lands again. Ooh, this guy's got all the Jaces. Alright, I mean, Jace here is not really fantastic. He Fate Sealed us and put it on the bottom, which always makes me curious because you can't really look on Magic Online like you can in real life at the end of the game. So I think here we're going to continue to pressure his mana. We can plow under, we can cast Tree Speaker, and we can crash on his Jace. If this is a relevant morph, he'll block. If it's a Angel, he probably won't, but we can knock the Jace down a few notches so he can't just unsummon and brainstorm at will. We're definitely not casting Wolfier Silver Art now, because casting that into a Jace is pretty terrible. So we're going to first crash a Jace and see what he does. And then we're probably going to cast Tree Speaker and plow under. Casting Precursor Golems, somewhat reasonable, but I'm in favor of Disruption. Okay, so he did block. And so he was a Vesuvian Shapeshifter, so that's good for us because we have some pretty big cards in our hand that we don't want him copying. So Jace goes back to 3. We're going to plow under again. We're going to choose the islands again. And do that again. And we're going to cast our Tree Speaker. And once again, present pressure to the Jace and his mana base while he's being dinged for 1 from his mana vault. So, all in all, this game's going pretty well. Barring like a balance or something, which would be pretty devastating at this point, actually. A balance would knock us out. I guess it would. Yeah, me play a land isn't that balanced, but it would have knocked out most of our lands. The Geist would have lived, which would have killed the Jace, which would have been good. But alright, so now more disruption. So we just keep drawing more disruption. Alright, here I think we're gonna take a crack at this Jace and see if we can kill it. And then we're going to level up our Tree Speaker and cast Wickerbower Elder and kill this Mox. I'm always in favor of just disruption over playing more threats. One of the things in the Goblin deck that I enjoy so much is the fact that you have four Wastelands and 4 ports, and very often you just skip a turn to port them because it's just so effective if the board is in your favor. Even if it's not, even if you're just building up to a better critical turn. So I'm usually almost always in favor of disruption, and here we're disrupting and playing a threat too. So let's get this Jace and see what he does. See if he can actually defend it or not, which is a relevant consideration too. So we're going to attack with 3 power to his Jace and see what he does. Alright, so it looks like we have killed the Jace. Things are looking pretty good for us right now. We can level this guy up basically for free. Add some mana. Play Wickerbower Elder. And kill off this Mox. And continue to threaten his board. And one of the things about doing this too is that, yes, we're not presenting an extreme amount of pressure. Obviously, if we played Wolfier Silver Art, we could end the game faster. But we'd also be much more susceptible to a balance or a Wrath of God or something like that. Whereas here, we're just pressuring him with what we have. And we still have 2 insane threats in our hand. So that was that match. Went pretty well. Yeah, our deck seems sweet. So see you guys next match.